Hey everyone, this is Ibezinga again. Today I'll be drinking a tea which I've had in my sample bin for a while, which is a may leaf tea, and this one is called Blazing Formosa. And it's actually a tea that's quite old, I'd say. So I've never had this tea before. It's actually a tea I've won in a giveaway a couple years back, I think. At the end of 2023, might be beginning of 2024. And it's been in my sample stash all this time. I actually don't know why I've kept it so long. So I've read up on this tea, which has since gone out of stock for a while. And the interesting thing is that this tea is, as the name suggests, Formosa, which is the old name for Taiwan, is a Taiwanese tea, and it's made of the classic Jinchuan cultivar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jinchuan says on the website. In October 2018, so this is a almost 7-year-old tea. It received a light roasting in Taiwan, and then Mayleaf experimented with their own roasting, so a second roasting in London. So very interesting. And from what I gather on the website, it should be a blend of two different oolongs. Let me see. This tea is a wild London experimental blend of two roasts of the same oolong tea. Just one tea, but two different roasts. So as it says on the website, a polite and elegant light roast from the tea masters in Taiwan. And the other is our raucous London roast, dark and powerful. The result is a full-on flavor experience moving from dark caramel, cooked cream, and coffee all the way to wild strawberries and nori. So, smells like combination of chocolate and roast. Let's see here. That's about 6 grams, I think. Let's add a little more. There we go. Let's have a proper session. And what I'd have to say is they are actually quite beautiful, the leaves. No dust, which is quite crazy for a packet that's been in my stash so long. And beautiful leaves, so they smell already very nice. And I forget my water. Just a second. All right, I got my water. There we go. And this is boiling water right off the boil. So yeah, let's give it a quick rinse. There we go. Let's smell the wet leaf and give it just a moment to open a little more. Warm up the cup. Very nice color already. Oh yeah, you can get that chocolatey roasted smell, like milk chocolate in the Gongdao Bay. Very interesting. Alright, let's pour this off and let's give the wet leaf a smell. Alright, so there's definitely more of that roast coming through. The light milk chocolate scent has disappeared, but you can smell the typical lighter oolong fragrance behind the roast. But let's be clear, the roast is very dominant on this one. So let's give it a first infusion, and I'm just following the instructions on the website, as Don suggests to brew this tea. So we'll give this a 15-second infusion and then proceed with I think 10-second intervals. Beautiful golden color. You can see a lot of foam on this tea, which is promising. So beautiful dark amber golden color. A lot of activity going on, a lot of hairs in the tea, which is also a good sign. Let's give this a quick taste. I can tell the soup is quite thick, so I'll just go ahead with the mouthfeel. Yeah. I wouldn't say very thick as of yet, but definitely medium or going to medium thick. Yeah, very coating in the mouth. Quite oily. Yeah, pleasant tea. And as you might know, I'm not the biggest oolong person. I think this might be my first, or perhaps I think I did one Moi Chai video of an oolong earlier. But that being said, I'm not the biggest oolong person. Perhaps in the future I'll delve more into Yancha or Dansong. But generally oolongs don't really do it for me. The thing I always get in those darker oolongs is the roast, and in those lighter oolongs the thing I get most is like that grassy, hay-like, mainly grassy flavor, which I don't dislike, but I'm not the biggest fan of either. It's not as complex as a puerh, for example. So that's why I generally don't drink that much oolong. That being said, this is quite nice. The roast is not overpowering. It's definitely there, but it's not overpowering. You know, actually, it reminds me of the raw spring liu bao from Y2T, which has a similar profile in the sense that it's like a milk chocolatey, milky rich flavor, which is actually surprising to me, because it's a completely different style of tea. And I think already from the first infusion, and the tea hasn't even opened up yet, this tea already leaves quite a powerful aftertaste in my mouth. So it's like I said, a roast, but there's a lot more there. Like a lightly roasted coffee, and also a lot of sweetness. I'd compare it to caramel. Yeah, I think caramel, it's not quite caramel, but going into caramel sweetness. Very nice. I'm actually impressed. And I don't like to hate on tea companies, especially Mayleaf, because I think they have been a pioneer in bringing quality tea, and especially puerh, into the West. But I know Mayleaf has been scrutinized in the past a lot with wild claims. I'm not going into detail, but there is a lot of it on the internet. So I think they're a lot better these recent years. So no 1,000-year-old tea tree claims. That being said, this tea, I think, is really great, and that's coming from a person who generally doesn't drink oolong, like I said, especially dark roasted oolong. So let's look at the leaves. They have opened up quite a bit, taken up a lot more volume, and the scent is still mainly roast, but there is a light fruitiness coming through, but I don't know what it is. But there's definitely fruitiness. So let's give this 20 seconds. things around a bit. Oh, I'll just put it here. Even a darker color. This is quite dark actually. I'm surprised, but very nice. Now I can see that the soup is very thick. The tea soup is very thick. So let's leave this here. Yeah, really dark leaves. Sometimes when you get a roasted tea, the leaves when you infuse them are still quite green, but this one still very dark. The liquor darker as well. This would border on like red. It's actually redder than a Hongcha, red tea or black tea if you prefer that name. So second infusion. Now the thickness is there. Oh yeah, very oily, very thick. That's actually great. I'm impressed. Great tea. Like I said, the roast still there, still not overpowering. Coffee, caramel, but no real fruitiness, no real extra dimension. Yeah, just a little bit lacking that complexity, I think. But the taste that is there is very nice, and it's very long lasting in the mouth. I can tell that already. So I will give this one more infusion, let's say 30 seconds, and then I'll end this video. So from a person that mainly drinks raw puerh, a little chaud puerh, and for the rest black tea or white tea, I'd actually give this tea a like 7.5 out of 10, just because it lacks a bit of a depth, a certain complexity. But if you like roasted oolongs, I think you'll really be a fan of this. And perhaps I shouldn't say that because the tea has since gone out of stock. So for those who have tried this tea, let me know what your experiences with it are. If you like this tea, if this is something, if you have maybe similar recommendations from Mayleaf or from other vendors that sell this tea. I think this tea will have quite a lot of infusions going for it. The site says 9, but from what I can see, how slowly these leaves are opening, I think I will go up to 12 or perhaps 15 teas. So I have my work cut out for me this evening. It's a very nice evening out in Belgium. It's like 7:30, and it's still 29 degrees out. So I will be drinking this tea all evening, and I will be enjoying it. So let me know what your experiences with it are. Please give the video a thumbs up, and if you like this kind of videos, subscribe. I will be uploading more of these videos. Thanks for watching, and cheers.